Paige Dimakos Draft Club. We have pick'ems. We have pick'ems. We have the first round of NFL playoffs coming up, and so we're going to tell you our prediction, who we think are going to win the first round, the wild card round of these playoffs. You want to start in the AFC or the NFC? I'm gonna let you pick. I'm gonna let you pick which
Let's
one.
start with the NFC.
Let's start the NFC. Okay, the better side of this bracket, right? The NFC is kind of like the West in the NBA, right?
Yeah,
For this year, it's
100%.
kind of like the
Definitely
West.
definitely feels like that.
All right, let's start at the very top. Let's start with the 4 and 5 seed. The Los Angeles Rams going to the Carolina Panthers. Who you got?
So the Rams are a 10-point favorite in this game. This is a team that lost to this Carolina team just a few
Carolina
weeks
beat them
ago.
regular season. Yep.
And I think that backfires against Carolina in this moment. I think there's a good chance that not only do the Rams win, but they blow this team out. That win is going to be in the back of their heads. Davante Adams is going to be playing. He leads the league in receiving touchdowns, even though he hasn't played over the last month. Yeah, I think they're going to run up the score, and it's going to be a big Rams win against the Panthers. And I'm sorry, Bryce. I wish I could feel differently.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is just two different weight classes, right? Carolina, great story, great situation, happy for Bryce Young, right? But I expect the Los Angeles Rams to win this football
Yep,
game. Just more talented roster from top to bottom, but something else that matters, the experience, right? Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, they've been there, they've done that. They have
100%.
defensive pieces. I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams also. Let's do this. The showdown. The showdown in Midway. We have the Green Bay Packers going to the Chicago Bears, a NFC North rivalry for Wild Card Weekend. Who you got, the Packers or the Bears?
Can I just say thank you to Vegas for continuously giving this team bulletin board material by making them an underdog at home? The
Make
pack
them an underdog.
the
Okay.
Packers are a 1.5 point favorite in Chicago. Thank you very much, Vegas. Ben Johnson is going to use that all week long. When I was sitting there watching these games, I was praying for Green Bay because this team has not been very good over the last few weeks. Caleb Williams has beat this team of the last 4 times they played, they've split. There's no more Packers mystique coming into Chicago. That's dead and gone after that last game. This team is injured. They're fighting through it. This is not, they're hobbling to the playoffs. And that is a team that is ready for Chicago to go in and win. I think it's going to be a close game again. This is how these teams play each other, but I'm going to pick the Bears to win this game.
Okay, I like that, and I think that's pretty right in that. This is tough, right? When you look at just Caleb Williams, right? First career start in the playoffs. We talked about Jordan Love and the inconsistencies. We talk about Micah Parsons not being there defensively for the Packers. We talked about the Chicago Bears. Is this a situation where they act like they've been here before, right? Even though they haven't. Ben Johnson's first game coaching as a head coach in the playoffs. So there's a lot of different factors, a lot of unknowns, but there's a lot of talent on both sides of the football. But I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears. I'm gonna go with them because they're at home. I'm gonna go with the momentum. I think that the win that they just had, the walk-off touchdown, right? I think that was kind of a haymaker, right? Where it takes you that body blow that takes you a while to kind of get back up. And I think the Packers are still a little bit sore, right? They're still feeling the sting a little bit. And I think they're going to want to come out and be dominant, but that Micah Parsons injury is huge for the Green Bay Packers. He was taking on the role of, we watched the Cowboys documentary, the Charles Haley, right? That reckless guy. He was taking on the role of the Lawrence Taylor for the New York Giants, and not having him, because I think he became the voice of that defense. I think not having him is going to be extremely tough.
If Micah was playing, I would feel way less confident in this game. This defense
Yeah.
has just not been the same at all since Micah Parsons went down. And it has had a dramatic impact on this team. And Jordan Love has been injured throughout this year, has struggled throughout these moments. I just don't have a lot of faith that that team is going to come into Chicago and play a good game. So I think it'll be a close one. It always is. And the Bears win against the Packers.
Yep, it's a team trending upward and a team trending downward meeting in the playoffs. Let's see what happens. Wrapping up the NFC side of this bracket, we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got?
I am going with the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought about this one long and hard, and I wanted desperately to go, you know what? The Niners are going to pull it off. But when you've got Bethune out now for the whole season as well, I think this is going to be the last straw that just breaks the camel's back. They've held this together defensively for such a long time, but you're now talking about your 3 best players on defense not being in this game. The talent discrepancy here. when you look at this Eagles defense versus what is going to be on the other side for the 49ers. As much as I love Robert Saleh, as much as I like Kyle Shanahan, there is not enough players to overcome the discrepancy that's going to happen on the football field. So, and for whatever reason, I just got a weird feeling Philly's going to get hot. It's not a real, it's just, I feel like they are going to pull off a victory that shuts everybody up, and their offense is going to look totally fine, and everybody's going to go, where's this team been all year? That's how I feel about Philadelphia. That's what I anticipate is going to happen in that game.
Okay, I'm going to go this. I'm going to 49ers. And I
Ooh,
know
I like
throughout
it.
the entire year, I've been saying the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team, right, on paper. I agree with that, but they've been the past couple weeks, there've been things I have
Jumping
not
off the
liked.
bandwagon, Keith. I can't
I'm
believe
jumping off
it.
the bandwagon. Not that I don't think they're the most talented team. The AJ Brown situation, I think, will matter, and it's just too many details that I'm paying attention to. Whether you're running routes full speed, whether Jalen Hurts is forcing you to football, I think their offense has an issue, and the issue is trying to cater to AJ Brown. Right? I think it's becoming a problem, and I think this is what I believe. This will be a game where they score upwards of 25 points. I think the 49ers are going to put up points. I think Brock Purdy is going to walk in there,
Okay.
throwing, dinking and dunking the football, making good throws. George Kittle's going to be healthy. Christian McCaffrey is going to get going. And I think if the 49ers start off hot and this game becomes 7-0 or 10-0, then you start to see that sideline spiral. Right, you start to see people have question marks, and the fans start booing, and it's not going to be something they're going to be able to get themselves out of a hole. So I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers, and I know this goes against my gut, right? Because I like the Eagles, I like Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, but man, listen, when you have everybody not rowing in the right direction, you can't win like that. You can't win like that. It's called self-destruction.
I agree. I'm happy you went in that direction because like there is a lot of logic behind going, this Philly team hasn't put it together this year. I'm just holding it down for the draft club on our, we always believe that the talent wins out. So I'm holding it down. One of us had to stick with the Eagles. So I'm sticking with it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let's switch to the AFC, man. Let's go to the AFC side. And this is, oh man, this is
Oh,
crazy.
man is right.
Um,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who you got?
The Buffalo Bills are a 1.5-point favorite going into Jacksonville. And I think this is the one matchup where I go, yep, Buffalo, wouldn't feel very confident in any of the other situations, but I think they can go and they can get this done. As much as it's been a great story to watch what Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence have done this year, I just can't buy it yet. Can't buy it. Jacksonville doesn't have a great home field advantage in any way, shape, or form, so that's not going to impact the game. James Cook's the leading rusher in the NFL. If they can run the football and Josh Allen can play how he needs to play, I think Trevor Lawrence presses. I think he gets too big. The moment gets a little bit too big for him, and you see that happen in this game. And I'm going to go stick with Josh Allen, although at the end of the day, I don't feel confident in any of these picks. I want to be very clear. None of them.
I'm gonna go with
Ooh, I like it.
Duval. I'm going with the Jaguars at home. Reason being, I think this Jacksonville Jaguars team is young, and I think they don't know what they don't know at this point.
Yeah.
They play and all the pressure is on Buffalo and Josh Allen. We just talked about Josh Allen having the most pressure. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars walk in there and say, you know what, we ain't supposed to be here. So who really gives a damn what happens, right? And this defense, the Jacksonville Jaguars have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and we've seen good defenses give this Buffalo Bills team issues, right? Because when we look at their roster, the lack of receivers and pass catching options, it struggles. It makes them struggles at time. And then also you talked about them defensively not having the same guys that they've had in the past. So I'm kind of rooting for chaos a little bit, right? There'll be a little chaos going on, but I'm going with Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think, to me, this is more about where the Buffalo Bills are at this current stage than what it is about how much confidence I have in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I agree with you that I think Jacksonville can come in loose. The only person that I don't think is going to potentially come in loose is Trevor, because there's still pressure.
Trevor?
There's still pressure on Trevor. Trevor is still sitting in that conversation about whether or not he is the guy that he was expected to be when he was the first overall pick and the generational talent and the guy we knew from 16 years old coming out. I think that conversation, him versus Josh, has become very interesting. Does Trevor take care of business? I just got to see it first. I've seen Josh
Yeah.
do it. I haven't seen Trevor do it. So we will see. I won't be surprised if I have to hear Liam Cohen at the end of the game yelling Duval, though. Won't be surprised at all.
All right, let's go with our next matchup. I'm gonna call this one the Paige Dimakos Bowl, because I feel like this one is gonna tug at your heartstrings a little bit because there are people that you like on both sides of this. Talking about the Los Angeles Chargers versus the New England Patriots. Paige Dimakos, who you
Oh man, this does tug at my heartstrings. I got people, I got friends, family on both sides. I got coaches that I love. I mean, this is a tough one for me. And I might surprise you with my pick, but I'm going with the Chargers to go
have?
to New
Ooh,
England
oh,
and
I was not expecting
and
that.
upset this team, and I'll tell you why. The biggest issue that the Chargers have had this year has been protecting Justin Herbert, right? Obviously, they lose both their right tackle and their left tackle. You know who struggles to get a pass rush this year more than anybody? Bottom three, the New England Patriots. This is a matchup situation that I think is going to potentially create some chaos for this Patriots team. I also just, the strength of schedule, the inexperience, the whole situation of this team is going to go on a destiny ride to be Tom Brady 2.0. They're young and dumb in the right ways, but I think this is going to be one of those situations where because of the pass rush, if this was any other match, like you look at the Texans versus the Chargers and you're like, terrible matchup for the Chargers. This is the one matchup that I think favors the Chargers, and their running game with both guys now being healthy and back, I think they'll be able to do that. Justin Herbert has a big game, and I think it's a close one, but I think Herbert pulls off the victory in New England and stuns Mike Vrabel. And I'm sorry, Vrabel. I know I said that out loud. Don't be mad at me.
All right, this is one, you know what, where we both can't be right because I'm going with the New England Patriots. I think Foxborough is going to be buzzing. And I'm going to tell you this time with this, whatever dynasty of just the Patriots being good, I'm going to embrace it, right? Because the first 15 years with Tom Brady, I hated it. I hated looking at it. I cut the games off. I didn't watch the playoff games. There was Super Bowls that I refused to watch because I'm like, you know what, I'm not watching Tom Brady. But going back to the Foxborough thing, they believe. They believe that this team is good. They believe that it looks like what it looked like in the past. I'm watching this team. It's well balanced. They're hitting on all cylinders. They're a balanced team offensively. And Drake May, we talked about it, not MVP level, but damn good quarterback level, right? And he's a guy that can go and beat you and make those superstar X factor type of plays. And I think the Chargers coming in there, it's just going to be a lot.
It
I
is.
think it's just going to be a lot because I think that place is going to be buzzing. It's going to be almost like the ghost of the past, right?
Yeah.
You might see a little Willie McGinnis walking around, Rodney Harrison. You know, there's gonna be a lot of pressure going
Yeah.
on in
And
this.
you
So
know
I'm gonna
who's
go with the
not going to
New
care at all?
England.
Jimmy Harbaugh. He's going to be taking the
No,
grass,
he
throwing it up
won't.
in the air, shaking his quarterback, telling him, you know who the best quarterback is on this field? It's you. That's the other part of this. I have a lot
Well,
of
I'm
faith
gonna
in
ask you this.
Harbaugh. A lot of
I,
faith.
I have I have a question. I'm gonna ask you this. How much faith do you have in Justin Herbert? With his lack of playoff success,
Yeah.
I think that's a conversation to be had. How much faith do you have in Justin Herbert to walk into, I mean, any
Yeah,
away
for sure.
opponent's stadium in the playoffs and perform at a high level?
I think this is the perfect storm of things for Justin Herbert to be able to have the opportunity because of the lack of pass rush from New England, because of the inexperience from the team on the other side. They're not going into a place with an experience. This is going to be a young quarterback who's also going to be pressing in moments too. He's going to want to put on a show in front of New England. Yes, it's going to be buzzing, but that also creates pressure for young guys. Can they handle that moment? There's also been some shenanigans off the field for both two-star players on the New England Patriots team. Do not tell me that has not created some off-the-field distractions. It absolutely
Uh-huh.
has. This is going to be a factor. I think this opportunity, as I said, if I had to watch Justin Herbert go to the Houston Texans and play that pass rush, I'm not going against that Texans team. This is just a matchup and a perfect storm in a situation where I think it ends up favoring Justin Herbert. And I'm looking at you, Herbert, to have a big moment. I expect a big game from you,
Hey,
no matter what.
yep, yep, 100%. I think this is, we talk about players that have pressure on them. I think there's some underlying narrative pressures with Justin
For
Herbert
sure.
that depending on how he plays, it can start coming up to the
If
surface,
that
right?
O line was healthy, if their line was healthy, that totally different. I think the pressure is
Mhm.
major on him. This team has had so many injuries. He's had injuries. He's played through it. You kind of have this built-in excuse here, but I'm not. I have liked Herbert from the beginning. I liked him before anybody liked him in the draft cycle, and ordered and argued with everybody about it throughout the draft process. And I'm sticking with my guy, but he's got to prove it in a big moment, not to win. I think they win the game, but he has to play good no matter what. For me,
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
to see a good performance.
yep, I agree. All right, let's wrap this thing up with the last matchup. We have the Houston Texans traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who you got?
Oh man, this one I hate. I hate this matchup. I'm not gonna lie. I just sat there and I looked at it and I went, like the whole time I'm sitting there looking at it. The Steelers are an underdog in this game. The Texans are a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Pittsburgh. Here's what I know. That Texans defense is nasty, 1,000%. But the Steelers just put something together, and it feels a little magical. I'm not going to lie. That I don't know if you
Hmm.
saw the video of the priest blessing the end zone,
Yeah, I did
and
see that. Yep.
and that happened to be the end zone that the Ravens missed the kick. Don't underestimate the power of superstition in sports, okay? These are the things you saw. I don't think I've seen Mike Tomlin that happy ever. He was blowing
I don't
kisses to the
think
camera. Literally, he blew
I
kisses
don't
to the
think I've
camera.
seen Aaron Rodgers that emotional.
Yeah,
If you watch that post game
100%.
interview on the field, like he really had to fight hard to hold back tears.
Yeah,
He was already tearing up, but to like stop the tears from coming down his face, he had to hold it back. And I
yeah,
think those guys are playing for themselves. And I guess I'm about to give away my pick. I'm
yeah.
going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Them being at home, the terrible towel. I think the stadium is going to be rocking. I believe that this game, as much as we're going to try to make it about the offenses, this is going to come down to defense, turnovers, and special teams field position. So if you don't like defense, turnovers, and special teams, don't watch it. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it, right? Because yeah, point blank period.